Hi, good afternoon. This is Miss Claudia and welcome to Crafternoon. Today we're going to be making a pinch pot and some pipe cleaner flowers. And I know Mother's Day is close, so I thought this might be a good idea to try out if you want to make a present for your mom. Alright, so the materials that we're going to be using for the pinch pot is going to be air drying clay, which you can find maybe for like $3 at a CVS or a Walgreens, acrylic paint in any colors that you like, paint brushes, buttons, a glass of water, and some paper towels. Okay, let's get started. So I found this tub of air drying clay in white. You guys can find it in different colors, but I decided to buy this bin. But you can find the individual pouches for about $3. As you can see, they're all individually wrapped. Since when you open this, it starts to dry. So we're just going to take one pouch out and put the rest of them away. Remember that before you start, you want to have a clean surface to work on. Okay, so we're going to open this pouch. Don't need any extra materials for now, just air drying clay. So we have it open. I'm not going to use this whole block of air drying clay, but I am going to take at least half. But of course, if you want to make a smaller project, you don't have to use as much. Because remember, the more clay that you have, or the thicker that it is, the longer it's going to take to dry. Okay, so now that our air drying clay is free, we're going to start molding it into a ball. And we're going to be using our hands and the table to mold and roll it around. Doing this until we have a round ball, and I think this is good. So we're going to move on to the next step. I'm going to take this in one hand, and you're going to take your thumb and push it into the ball you just made. See? Now we're going to pinch around the sides and make it bigger. Remember, you want your walls to be not too thick, but not too thin. Remember to use your hands to support it, because remember, right now this is not firm at all. You're going to make it as wide as you want. Just remember to try to make it the sides even. And I'm just going to go ahead and pinch some of the sides to make it a little bit more closed. If you're using less clay, you probably don't need to do this extra step, but I think it looks pretty good. So I'm going to take this fork and I'm going to start making indentations to decorate it with. And you can use a fork or a spoon or anything that you want. And I am also going to be using a button to make some shapes inside and outside of our pinch pot. And I want you guys to take a look at this, see how it's still very malleable. This is why this is a good time to take buttons or forks or anything of that kind to make shapes inside of the pinch pot, because it's so malleable. So I did some indentations on the inside, now I'm going to do some on the outside. And remember to use a hand on the inside to give support to your pinch pot, because otherwise it's gonna ruin the shape a little. Alright, so this is how it's looking so far. I'm quite happy with it. The next step would be to paint it, but we can't right now, so we're just gonna leave this drying. And normally this type of clay takes anywhere from 48 hours to 72 hours to dry completely. So you might want to give yourself some time if you are planning to make this for Mother's Day. So we're just waiting. Alright, since we're waiting for our pinch pot to dry, we're going to move on and we are going to make what's going to go inside of it, which is the pipe cleaner flowers. And here's what we're going to be using. We're going to be using a styrofoam block or a styrofoam plate. We're still going to be using acrylic paintbrush to make the flowers. We're going to be using construction paper or cardstock if you have. Pipe cleaners. We're going to need a pin, some scissors, and this one is optional. You can use pliers as well. There are pliers that are used to cut, but if you have scissors, that's fine too. So we're gonna get our area ready. We're gonna get our construction paper to start our flowers. So you can see I have a pipe cleaner and I have some colorful construction paper. And it can be any colors you want. These are the ones that I have available. These are pliers that I have used to cut, but if you have scissors, that's completely fine. And we have a shape cutter in the form of parts, but you can also do this by scissor. And I'm just going to show you guys how this shape cutter works. So we just slide the paper in on this side. And I'm just going to push down. And since it's folded, what I'm going to get are 2 hearts. See? Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and make as many hearts as I think are necessary. And you don't need this special tool to make hearts. You can draw little hearts and cut them out. For most flowers, you can use between 3 to 4 hearts, and I'm going to show you how. Also, if you want to use something more decorative, I found this at the dollar store, literally just for $1. I thought it was really pretty. It's a holographic type of paper, and I think it'll make a really good flower. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, so I've cut out all of the hearts that I want for right now, and here they are. Now we're going to move on to the second part of this side of the project. I'm using the pin from the back of this button. You might need an adult to help you. So what we're going to do to be able to put these hearts through the pipe cleaner is that we're going to make a little hole in the back, see, just like this, just one little hole to all the hearts, and that's gonna help us be able to put the pipe cleaner through it, see, and it might be a little bit tricky at first, but once you start, you'll pretty much get the hang of it. Just have a little bit of patience. Maybe put on some music and relax while you do this. once you get the first heart in, you're gonna wanna push it down, further down the peg cleaner just a little bit to give yourself some space to put in the other hearts. And depending on what you like, you can put from 3 to 4 of these hearts that are gonna look like petals. See, it already looks like a flower. Alright, so we have all of our petals here. What I'm gonna do is just roll down this part with my hands, and there you go, there's a flower. I could also do this with some pliers, which I will do later on, but I just wanted to show you guys how to, you can do it by hand, or you see, you can use these rounded pliers to roll it down, and then we're just going to cut and set aside. And for right now, I'm just going to continue to make the little holes and pins behind the hearts. So, once you've finished making all the holes with the pin and the hearts, you can start assembling your flowers. And this might take a little bit of time, but it's worth it. Okay, so we're just gonna do some magic. Boom! Bunch of flowers. So we're gonna move on to make the base for the flowers, where we're gonna stick them in. And I have this styrofoam block. I actually got it from an Amazon package that I received. So I thought I might use this. You can totally use a styrofoam plate too. It might make things easier. So I have this ruler, I have this butter knife, and I have this marker. And this block is a little bit thick, so what we're going to do is measure how deep the pinch pot is. And it's about 1 inch, so what I'm going to do is measure about half of that. So I've measured both sides, and I'm going to use a ruler to press down to make a marking, to better have an idea of where this line is going to be. And I'm going to use this to guide me as I cut through it with the butter knife. If you have a better method at home of cutting styrofoam, feel free to use that. For me, this is what I had available. And it's not too tough, it's pretty fun to do. So we cut that in half, and it is quite messy, but here we have it. Now we're gonna cut this down to the size. And look at that, magic. Okay, not really. So I just measured around it, and I kept on cutting until it fit inside of the pinch pot. And now we're going to put that aside, and we're going to clean our workspace, because it's important to keep a clean space. We don't like messes around here. We're going to lay down some paper towels, because we are going to start painting. We have our brush, we have our base, and I'm going to be using some green acrylic paint and some yellow paint as well. And I'm going to pour it directly onto the styrofoam and just paint over it. And you don't have to paint the whole thing completely if you don't want to. I just did what I thought would be visible. And painting until you're happy with what you have. So I'm happy with this, so I'm going to set this aside to dry and put my paintbrush away. We're going to keep this paper towel here, and it's been about 3 days. So I'm fairly sure that this is dry enough to paint. We're going to get ready. So I have a little glass of water. Clean my brushes in. I have our paintbrush. And you can pick any colors you want. I picked colors that remind me of my mom, colors that she likes. Now I'm going to start with the inside. So as I'm painting this, I want you guys to notice how firm the pinch pot is now versus 3 days ago. So you want to wait for your pinch pot to be completely dry to be able to paint it. And I've chosen to use sort of a gold yellow color for the inside. So after you're done painting the inside of your pinch pot, you're going to want to set it aside to dry. You guys can't tell, but some time has passed now. So the inside is dry, so you want it to be dry because you have to turn it over and put your hand inside to be able to support your pinch pot as you paint the bottom. So I'm going to start with the dark blue, mix it with a little white, and spread that outwards. And I want to go from dark colors to lighter colors. So in no specific way, I'm just gonna do that. And you can pick any colors that you want. You don't have to pick these colors. These are just the colors that I like because they do remind me of my mom. Lighter blue, and on the very edge of the pinch pot I'm going to start integrating white, not complete white, but like a very lighter blue white. And I'm liking this because it kind of looks like waves. And I hope you guys can appreciate the indentations from our fork that we used when we were molding our pinch pot. Alright, so I think I'm pretty content, really happy with how this is coming along. And we're going to set this aside to dry. This is dried more or less on the bottom, and now I remember that I used a button to make some indentations on the inside. I decided that I wanted to use this reddish pink color to paint them. And I started making dots, but I just realized if you use the bottom of your brush, that can also be used as a dotting tool. Makes it much easier. Now I'm just gonna cover the bottom with little dots, little polka dots. Okay, so I'm looking at it, and I think I want to put some dots along the edges on the top. And I like how all these colors are looking together. So we have a lot of cool tones on the outside, and inside we have all these warm tones. So some time has passed now and it's completely dry, but we still have some indentations on the outside that I would like to highlight. So I'm gonna take some of that golden yellow paint, and I mixed a little bit of white in it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the indentations to make it stand out a little bit more. And I'm gonna show you guys how that is looking right now. And I did something off camera. On the bottom I painted a little gold heart. So now we have our base. Our pinch pot is painted. We're going to place the base right there. And it fits. And we're going to look for our pipe cleaner flowers, and we're going to start placing them, arranging them. And the good thing about the styrofoam is that if you don't like how something looks or how it's arranged, you can just take it out and try again. And see how they stand up. And you can arrange it any way you want. I think this is a really fun idea to do for Mother's Day. It was really fun to make. If you guys make it, I hope you really do enjoy making this as much as I did. And here's basically the finished product. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you had fun. And I'll see you in the next Crafternoon. Bye!